Have you ever imagined being between life and death, and instead of seeing your loved ones, seeing completely unknown faces that seem to know you deeply? That's exactly what happened to a woman who died for a few minutes after a cardiac arrest. She didn't see lights, tunnels, or smiling family members. What appeared before her was something much more disconcerting, a group of people she had never seen in her life, but who looked at her with affection, as if they had been waiting for her. And the strangest thing, they called her by name. This near-death experience challenged everything she believed about what exists after the end. Who were these people? Why did they seem so close? Were they connected to her future and not to her past? These disturbing questions marked her life forever, and may make you rethink everything you know about spirituality, reincarnation, and consciousness. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now may surprise you deeply. She says that, even though she was confused, she felt a strange peace when she looked at those unfamiliar faces. There was a silent connection there, almost as if those people were waiting for her, not to say goodbye, but to remind her that her journey was not over yet. The most curious thing is that even without recognizing them, she had the feeling that they were already part of her story, as if they were characters in chapters that had not yet been written. This is where her experience becomes even more fascinating. And perhaps you, on the other side, have already felt something similar, a premonition, a dream, an inexplicable encounter. If this subject resonates with you, leave a comment below with what touched you the most, or if you have experienced something that you cannot explain. I read everything carefully, and your story may even appear in a future video. And if this type of content really moves you, like this video right now, it really helps spread these messages to more people who are also searching for answers. And of course, if you want to continue traveling with me through these experiences that defy logic, subscribe to the channel. Your participation here is what makes all this exist. But this story is not over yet. She clearly remembers the look in one of their eyes. He was young, had a serene smile, and an expression that conveyed something between love and longing. And then, without moving his lips, he said, "You will still know me." That phrase echoed like a whisper inside her, and even after she came back to life, she never forgot it. It was at that moment that she realized that perhaps those people she saw were not figures from her past, but from her future. How can she explain this? Had she come into contact with souls that had not yet been born? Or were they parts of herself in another dimension, waiting for the right time to manifest themselves? This is one of the most intriguing questions surrounding near-death experiences. When we are between worlds, our perception of time, space, and identity seems to dissolve completely. What remains is the profound sensation of being in a place where everything makes sense, even if here in everyday life, that sense still eludes us. Some researchers of the phenomenon suggest that these encounters may be glimpses of spiritual connections that will manifest in this life. There are reports of people who, years after their NDE, recognize faces they had seen there before, even though they had never crossed paths before. Others believe that they are souls with whom we have long-standing commitments, children yet to be born, people yet to cross our path, loves yet to come. This idea completely changes our mindset about destiny and the decisions we make every day. What if part of our mission here is precisely to meet these souls again? What if our most significant encounters are already written in the background of our journey, just waiting for the right moment to happen? These revelations change everything, because it's not just about who you were, but who you can still become. Comment below, "I'm on this journey too." Now I want to go even deeper into this subject. Her first reaction was to try to rationalize what she saw. Maybe it was just a dream, the result of a lack of oxygen in her brain. But why did she feel deep down in her chest that it was real? That young man who told her, "You will still know me." It didn't seem like a figment of the mind. There was something about that presence that went beyond any logical explanation. Over time, she began to search for answers. She read about spirituality, reincarnation, and expanded consciousness. It was then that she discovered that she was not alone. Dozens of people who had had near-death experiences reported encounters, with beings that had not yet been born. Some said they had seen future children. Others said they had seen souls with whom they felt an instant connection, as if they were old friends who had met again before they had even experienced anything. Together here, these experiences challenge our common mindset about time and reality. Because if it's true that our souls already know those we haven't yet met, what does that say about the decisions we make every day? Could it be that the most important encounters in our lives are not random, but part of a larger journey, a soul plan that exists long before our physical birth? Some spiritual traditions talk about spiritual contracts, agreements made before we incarnate, where we define who we will cross paths with, what experiences we will live, and what kind of transformation we will seek. This does not mean that everything is written, but that there is a deep purpose behind the challenges, the loves, the losses, and even the reunions. This hidden truth changes the way we view our relationships. Maybe that person you haven't met, yet already knows you. Maybe you're here because there's someone waiting for you, someone who will only show up when you're ready. What if these visions during an NDE are just a reminder that there are still lives intertwined with yours, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? Comment below. That makes sense to me. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject. The most intriguing thing is to realize that this type of experience does not happen to a single isolated person, but has been reported by individuals around the world of different cultures, ages, and beliefs. In a hospital in Canada, a man who suffered a stroke said that during his NDE, he encountered a child who hugged him tenderly and called him Daddy. Years later, when his daughter was born, he had the strange sensation that this was the same look that had comforted him in that unknown dimension. In another part of the world, an Indian woman said that she saw a little girl smiling at her during a cardiac arrest. The image remained so vivid in her mind that she even described it in detail to close friends. The most amazing thing. About 10 years later, she had a daughter with exactly the same features. The same eyes, the same smile, the same way of tilting her head. These stories defy any purely rational explanation. How could it be possible to see someone before they were even born? Some scholars suggest that time as we know it may not exist in the spiritual realm. This opens space for the idea that our consciousness, when disconnected from the physical body, accesses dimensions where past, present, and future intertwine in ways we cannot yet comprehend. What if these souls are already connected to us in some way, just waiting for the right moment to enter our lives? These types of stories invite us to rethink the certainties we carry, to see existence as a journey much greater than just the years we spend here. It's as if there is something behind the scenes of reality that tries to remind us, from time to time, that nothing happens by chance, that some encounters, no matter how unlikely they may seem, were destined to happen, and that our current perception is only a fraction of what we are capable of understanding when we cross this invisible border. Write it down. I'm on this journey too. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject. What if all this is not just an isolated experience, but a calling, a subtle reminder, coming from a place where human logic cannot reach, that there is still something that only you can do? Because these visions, these encounters with people who have not yet been born, carry a power that goes beyond the inexplicable. They awaken a deep sense of purpose, as if each soul that appears is there not to end a journey, but to ignite a new one. What if these souls are somehow connected to your life's mission? Not as coincidences, but as parts of a hidden truth that insists on revealing itself little by little, between the lines of time, in the gaps between one breath and the next. Many people who return from an NDE report a profound transformation, not only in what they saw, but in what they felt called to do afterward. It's as if the universe itself is saying, "You are not finished yet. There is more to live, more to teach, more to find." Maybe there are encounters that will only happen if you keep going, if you decide to honor what has been shown to you. It could be a child that is yet to come, a gesture that will change someone's life, or a connection that only exists because you chose to stay. And when we start to see this journey from this perspective, the small decisions of everyday life take on new weight. It's not about accelerating or controlling the future. It's about being attentive with an open heart, to notice the signs, the subtle invitations, the encounters that seem casual, but that may have been written long before you were born. This idea changes everything, because it transforms even pain into a path, emptiness into waiting, and silence into preparation. Maybe you are here, right now, because someone who has not yet been born needs you. Comment below. That makes sense to me. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you also feels that these stories aren't just coincidences. They touch on something bigger, deeper, that we may still be beginning to understand. If this content made sense to you, if it brought you some clarity, comfort, or even a little hope, take advantage of this moment and subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about everything that doesn't fit into common explanations, but that lives inside those who feel it. Leave your comment saying, "This message was for me," just so I know that you stayed until the end and are also part of this journey with us. And if this video touched you in any way, leave a like, because that really helps to keep this space alive so that more people can find this kind of reflection when they need it most. And look, there's a video here on the side that complements all of this and can broaden your vision even further. Click and continue with me there.